I just got back from Aruba in March. That was really nice. I got to do some off-roading there and exploring some shipwrecks and swimming with sea turtles. Yeah, so that was very unanticipated. I did a sea bob thing, which takes you about, I'd say maybe 40 to 50 feet down, so you can actually see the divers that are there too and go a little bit beyond just the snorkeling, which was excellent. And my first time doing anything like that. Before that, I had been in Florence in February, and then I was in Greece and Milan in January. A variety of different methods. So when I started, it just became out of necessity that I was like, okay, I really have to be serious about the search. It's not just I started by reading different books about and methods, and then I just started putting them to use. So I have a couple different secrets that have worked out really well for me. I love Google Flights. So that's one of my main search databases because they have a map feature that allows you to look at the entire world for not even, let's say, a set period of time, but you can specify about a week in April. And then you can look and see what the best deals are just on the map. So if you're flexible with your destination, you can see, well, if I go for a week in April, I can get to New Delhi for, $400 or something of the sort. So that was a good function for me. And I also found that through Scott Keys, which was the email subscription list that I joined that allowed me to kind of be in the know as to what the fares deals were generally. Like right now, there's a huge fare deal to Italy that is being hosted on all the different airlines, and sometimes they compete with each other when one airline has a deal out. So that helped me just kind of be in the know as to what's happening. And then from there, I also started to get savvier about my spending and making it garner points for me with credit cards. So it's not necessarily quality, but quantity, because I feel like everything he sends out has to be of a certain appeal, but he will send out all of the deals to the premium people. So when I was on the free list, I would get little teasers like, oh, and if you were on the premium list, you would have gotten a $300 flight to China deal sent out this week. And so I would be like, oh, well, let me try it out. And I just did the initial investment of $15 for 3 months, thinking, if it's $15 and if I want to renew it, great. But if not, if I can save even that much on a flight, it was worth the investment. So, and then I ended up sticking with it just because I do like generally being in the know. And there's a couple of other competitors, like Travel Pirates, I would say, is another one that's pretty good at being aware of what's happening. I'm in the process of finalizing my trip to Thailand because I wanted to go for my 30th birthday in January. And that one is a little bit tougher because my birthday falls around the New Year's time. My birthday's on January 3rd. So that's usually a holiday week that you're not going to find a lot of deals for. So I had to be creative with how I got there for cheap. So I started out just first, I've been all on the lookout for alerts, but I haven't seen any. Most of them end around mid-December if you're going to have a fair deal. So I just managed to book the flight back from Thailand. So I'm coming back from Bangkok to Miami, and I got that flight for $70. First, I took out the Delta Sky Miles credit card, knowing that whatever bonuses I got, I was going to dedicate towards my January trip, because when I don't have flexibility with terms of dates, I would either have to have flexibility with my location or my payment methods. So I knew that if I could use my rewards for at least some part of that trip, I could save a significant amount of money. Just use my debit card to pay off my credit cards, and it's the same thing, and I get free flights for it. So that's another one that I try to research depending on where it is. So sometimes Airbnb is a good alternative option. I actually had a great Airbnb in Athens that overlooked the Acropolis, and it came out to 178 for 3 nights. And it was perfect. It had a king size bed, it had hardwood floors, and the best view, literally around the corner. So that was a really good deal. But when I had been looking potentially into going into Istanbul, I noticed that a lot of the Airbnbs were more kind of lower end hotels that were trying to market themselves through Airbnb. So you have to be careful, and you have to be wary and read their prices too, because sometimes my airline comes in at 10 p.m. and then you want to charge me an extra $50 for a late check-in after 8. So that becomes not worth it at that time. So you have to really be aware of those extra little caveats and Luckily, as an attorney, I read all the fine print. Um, so I'm on it. I know what you're going to charge me. So when I travel alone, I'm sure I could save money couch surfing or going to hostels or things like that, but I really value my safety. I value there being a deadbolt between me and everybody else at the end of the day, especially when it's a foreign country. It's my first time there. It makes me feel at ease. And I find that even hotels, there's usually somewhere that you can find that is going to be affordable. When I was in Cusco, I had a place for I think under $30 a night, and it was a well-rated hotel. It's not always the star level that I look at so much as the customer reviews. So if it's a two-star hotel, but everybody that stayed there has a five-star experience, they provide free breakfast, they have decent amenities, like that's what I look at. And I've been able to find at least a couple of options in every city. And I find good luck with TripAdvisor. I find that the reviews are pretty honest, and I'll actually use them to verify reviews from other sites. I'm a member of Expedia, so Expedia sometimes gives me better deals if I get like Expedia coupon points or things like that. I was able to get one night in Athens for about $20 because they ended up on New Year's Eve, because they ended up giving me like a coupon for having used them. So I just booked one night with that coupon at a nicer hotel for that New Year's Eve arrival, thinking I would be beat after the trip and I just want to sleep somewhere like really, really great. And I was splitting up my visits, so I didn't want to do the Airbnb for the whole time there. So sometimes I'll move places if that's the case, and I get a really good deal somewhere. I'm okay doing that. And I go to Expedia, but I look at them mainly for rates, not for reviews. For reviews, I find TripAdvisor is pretty honest. And I feel it's because they can leave a reply, but I don't think that they can necessarily remove it. They can address what you've said, but what you've said is there. So, and I find and I go specifically to the 1 or 2 star reviews, because you can also search reviews in TripAdvisors for however many years you need to go back. And I go to the 1 and 2 star reviews and I'll search for something like bed bugs. And if I see bed bugs, like even once mentioned, like I'm not risking it and I'm not staying there because that's not worth it to me. And then I also try to leave myself flexible with accommodations in case something like that comes up. So I don't like to commit myself to a place, even if it's a good deal necessarily, by booking early too much, because then if I do find something, I want the ability to be able to cancel without penalty or rebook if I find a better deal. And sometimes with hotels that can happen as you get closer to the date. Like I think I had Hopper and I think one or two others, but it wasn't giving me, like I felt like I wasn't getting, maybe I'm greedy, but like 800 is not a deal for me. Like I want like a deal, like, and you weren't telling me, it just wasn't what I really was looking for. So I wasn't finding success on them. We're heading on number 5. I'm going to the Greek islands next. I would be open to wherever. And I also did a lot of research in terms of places that are once in a lifetime places to see. So if there's somewhere that has something to offer, and most places do, I'm willing to go there. I have a long list, and I feel like as you can get anywhere to any of these places. There's obviously places that are higher up on my priority list, like Ecuador was specifically motivated because I want to go to this place called Casa del Arbor, that you swing out on a swing over like a volcano, and you can take a picture of you like on a tree swing, like pretty much. And it looks so crazy. And that's one of the things I want to do. Is it weird that I've already started looking into where I want to go next year?